After the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, with Franklin Delano Roosevelt as president, America was at war, fighting by land, sea, and air. Numerous citizens did their patriotic duty to assist in that war, but one man did what he did best with tremendous effort to help win that war.
It's a toughie. Oh, let's see. Walt Disney!
In Hollywood, Walt Disney has turned over almost the entire facilities of his studio for the production of Army and Navy instructional films, some of them involving closely guarded military inventions and techniques.
Let's go with Navy Project 648, Sequence 1. Let her roll.
At the start of the war, Walt started working right away, dedicating 90% of his studios to war efforts. The Disney studios were transformed almost overnight, as they served as the headquarters for a U.S. military division, which included around 700 U.S. soldiers.
I guess I was 11 when the war broke out, so I was in my young teens throughout the war, and I have some pretty distinct memories of coming on the lot and it's being filled with guys wearing uniforms and chain link fences here and there that kept studio employees out of certain areas, and walking up and down the halls and seeing a lot of artwork related to defense movies of one kind or another.
As the U.S. Army was quartering troops and ammunition in the studio, security was tight, and even Walt himself had to wear an identification badge. Walt saw the need of his attention in the war and halted all commercial production, with the exception of Bambi. The war kept Disney busy, and the Disney Studios began producing training and educational films, with its first in 1941 entitled 4 Methods of Flush Riveting. It was created on Walt's own initiative and expense. Animation proved itself when tests revealed that trainees learned faster and had better retention when material was presented in animation rather than live action or illustrated lectures. During the course of the war, 200 films were produced for all branches of the armed forces. And in the words of Ward Kimball, a Disney animator, Walt was always trying to take these dull subjects and goose them with a little comedy. One film, called Stop That Tank, did just that, portraying Hitler after him and his tanks are destroyed by the anti-tank rifle.
Walt still wanted the same Disney quality at a much smaller price, and we got the cost plus 10% or something like that, which he overran in every case. So I think that was Walt's greatest contribution as far as the war effort was concerned.
In addition to training films, Disney artists, under Walt's direction, designed insignias and logos for various military and civil organizations.
Disney orders his famous cartoon characters into battle dress. They're in popular demand as emblems for the armed forces.
Those things were all over the place. They were in the halls, and I think there was a terrific lot of pride in those things that we had made up something for some unit somewhere, and they were all wearing it on their uniforms or on their airplanes. To me, it sort of felt like, oh, that's a real contribution, maybe even more than the film.
Many of the insignias featured Disney's most popular characters during that era. Donald, being the Disney favorite at the time, was shown on more than 200 insignias. They were supplied for free, costing an estimated $25 to the Disney Studios. Disney felt he owed those men and women serving America who grew up watching Mickey cartoons, and so more than 1,200 were designed during wartime. Despite the ongoing war, Disney continued to show theatrical shorts, as many as 19 shorts a year, with a special twist. Donald joined the Army and Donald Gets Drafted. Goofy showed his ability to be a sailor in the short How to Be a Sailor, and how to cut back on the consumption of gasoline through other means of transportation in victory vehicles. The most popular wartime Donald short, entitled De Fuhrer's Face, won Best Animated Short at the Academy Awards in 1943. The short, originally titled Donald Duck in Nutsyland, depicts Donald in Nazi Germany as an unwilling factory worker, until he is awakened to discover he is, well, proud to be an American. The short's name was changed when Oliver Wallace's title song was recorded by Spike Jones.
One, two, three, hi! And
Vacation is over. By special decree of the Fuhrer. Heil Hitler! You have been shown them the work. Overtime!
Other shorts were of a more serious nature, such as Education for Deaf, subtitled The Making of a Nazi. It showed the Nazi ideology and differences in their society as compared to that of ours.
Hiling and marching, marching and hiling, as the years grind on. Manhood finds him still hiling and marching, but the grim years of regimentation have done their work. Now he's a good Nazi. He sees no more than the party wants him to. He says nothing but what the party wants him to say. And he does nothing but what the party wants him to do. And so he marches on with his millions of comrades, trampling on the rights of others. For now his education is complete. His education for death.
But Walt's efforts didn't stop there. He produced cartoons promoting war bond sales, and he even designed some war bonds. Altogether, and the Seven Wise Dwarves used characters from Snow White and Pinocchio to sell war bonds.
Hi-ho, it's off to buy we go. We'll do our part with all our heart. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. We all must help, you know. We'll win the war with 544. Hi-ho.
Walt's most extensive wartime effort was in the production of a full-length movie, combining both animation and live action. Disney's production of Victory Through Air Power was based upon the fifth best-selling book of 1942, titled under the same name, written by Major Alexander P. de Seversky. The film answered many questions on the minds of Americans and argued the use of air power to win the war, as it provided the enemy with an offensive war, attacking our enemies not with Army and Navy, but with long-range bombers, destroying enemies' nerve centers. Walt felt strongly about the film, stating, "We believe in the thing so badly. I felt, here's a message that is greater than a lot of the stuff we've been doing here on propaganda. I thought here was a message that might do some real good." Though the film lost $500,000 at the box office, it wasn't until after being persuaded by Winston Churchill to see the film that President Roosevelt made the commitment to long-range bombers. Walt Disney took it upon himself to support the Allied power's success, producing an unheard of 204,000 feet of film in 1942, with a third of his staff off at war. The most the studio produced in a year previous was a mere 37,000 feet. Disney, known as an outstanding storyteller and entertainer, truly made a difference in the war, as an excellent individual in history.
It's a great disgrace, so be heil, heil, right in the Führer's face. So be heil,